What is your reaction to this court judgment by the UK Supreme Court on Wednesday?
Thank you for having me. This judgment that came down was a bit disappointing. However, we're not deterred. We're looking forward to putting in place new legislative measures to make this work. We are committed to providing bold and innovative solutions to this migration crisis. So at home in the UK, there will be some legislative measures, and bilaterally we'll be concluding a new treaty that addresses the concerns of the court with regards to non-refoulement. I'd like to just quickly point out that we do take offense with the determination that Rwanda is not a safe third country. We are hosting more than 130,000 refugees, and we have been commended by international organizations, including UNHCR, over the years for the treatment of refugees in Rwanda, for the safety that we guarantee in Rwanda. We are also currently working with UNHCR to evacuate migrants and asylum seekers from Libya, where they can be provided with safety and opportunities in Rwanda.
At the same time, the UNHCR, which is the UN Refugee Agency, welcomed this judgment, and they did note in their statement that they have deep concern about the externalization of asylum obligations and the serious risk for what they called it posed to refugees.
Yes, I think if you look at the statements of UNHCR shortly before the announcement of this UK-Rwanda MEDP agreement, and then they're announced, and the statements after, the contrast is quite striking. We've been partners, and they have understood that there should be some solutions to this refugee and migration crisis, which is why we've concluded the ETM mechanism with the UNHCR, that recognizing that the burden should be shared amongst all nations, because the protection of refugees is an obligation to all nations. And Rwanda has been recognized as one of those leading countries that can provide safety and refuge to all migrants and asylum seekers.
Can Rwanda confirm or give assurances that people will not be sent to their homes, their home countries, if they do get to Rwanda?
Yes, Rwanda is a party to the Refugee Convention, and we've always abided by our international commitments and obligations. So in addition to that, we do recognize that for people who are not familiar with our justice system and with our asylum process, there is a need for further guarantees, and these will be addressed in the new treaty to be concluded, a binding agreement outlining Rwanda's commitment to non-refoulement.
This new treaty that you're speaking of, which also Prime Minister Rishi Sunak here in the UK did mention, what does it entail? You also mentioned measures that you're working on. What are those measures?
Yes, I think you will have noted that in the court judgment, they mentioned that there is a need to improve on the capacity of the asylum system, of the asylum processing in Rwanda. You see, in Rwanda, we receive most of our refugees are prima facie cases, whereby we have refugees coming in from conflicts in masses, and just only a very few coming through the individual asylum process. So we have been scaling up and building up capacity to be able to integrate all these asylum seekers that will be coming from the UK, so that they can go through a fair and equitable individual refugee status determination assessment. That's one of the measures. There has been a lot of other measures that have been done to ensure the reception and accommodation of these asylum seekers. Whereas for the treaty,
yes, go on, please.
The principles remain the same. However, we do believe that if these commitments are made binding, and we spell out actually our non-refoulement obligations, which we already have and are already applying, but I guess it needs to be said in the treaty. In a binding fashion.
How big or small a blow was this ruling to the reputation of Rwanda?
I think Rwanda is always very committed and determined to finding solutions to the migration problem, and committed to giving shelter to refugees and asylum seekers and migrants. We are a nation of refugees. I myself was a refugee. Everybody in this country was displaced at some point. So we do not believe that there is a blow to our reputation of wanting to offer asylum to migrants, wanting to save lives from these dangerous crossings, and wanting to integrate people in a society that is welcoming and that wants to see them do well and live a healthy and life full of opportunities.